If you're like me, from my background, there's not a lot of creed and confessional in my church before. But now I'm in Reformed Theological Seminary doing Westminster's Confession. It is amazing that there is such a thing called Westminster Confession and backed up by Westminster Catechism things. But the confession is an amazing group of things it is just it's so necessary to protect the church and protect the pastor, protect the clergyman. So what is creed? Okay, creed or the confession. Oh, by the way, that's why PCA is a confessional church. That means a church that goes by the confession, ruled and by the Bible. Bible is the ultimate of everything. The Westminster's Confession is the exegetical, historical, systematic theology and the biblical theology extract from the Bible and put it in a ways to deal with issues, specific issues in life. For example, limited atonement. For example, predestination. For example, ordained, preordained, and for example, the inerrancy of the Word of God. For example, who God is. All these are very difficult questions to answer. And unless you have a good, really good and backup theological understanding, exegetical experience, and you're not going to get to a lot of this. And as a matter of fact, I would say that a lot of pastors, if they're not trained, in particularly in the Reformed seminary, that they will face a lot of problems and being ignorant of a lot of things. So this is what I love about the creed. Creed is very similar to the confession. What is a creed? First, a creed is a symbol where it is intelligently and consciously accepted. It serves the bond of union between Christians by common faith. So that's creed. Creed unites the Christian by common faith. We all know that they all supposedly, the Word of God unite us by the common faith. But what does creed do? Creed is actually an intelligent application that has been argued through among the top scholars, and been accepted. It declares what doctrines they hold in common and indicates their undertaking to afford each other mutual support in the assertion, defense, and maintenance of these doctrines. Now, this is great. What happened is, as you know, we all have our own minds, and everybody has an opinion. That's a difficult sell. You have opinion, I have opinion, I have my theological background, you have a theology, or some people have no theology background, or pastors, it's a great heart, it's a good heart, which is the most important, I agree. So what do? Everybody has a doctrinal understanding. So the creed, a Nicene Creed is amazing, right? Declares the divinity of Christ, for example. Oh, that's a super important. So the creed declares what doctrines they hold are in common and indicates understanding to support each other, afford or support each other, mutual support in that doctrinal assertion and how to defend and maintain these doctrines. In other words, everybody has doctrines, okay? When you come together, this creed would discuss and see what do we agree on the doctrines. We'll put them together, and then we'll put them together, and we call it the creed. The creed is something we all agree on based on our confessional orthodoxy understanding of the Word of God, that we can support one another in the assertion, defense, and the proclamation of the doctrines. This, when it comes to doctrines, you need to be able to defend one another and defend the doctrines. So the creed, if you agree with the creed, we all support one another. So that's the first thing.